Snow pressed softly against the windows the night she clicked the
Hi
ad,
there! Merry
the kind of
Christmas!
Merry
snow that
Christmas.
made
We love the
everything
wreath.
look gentle while her chest felt anything but. Being a single mom had taught her how to be strong in public and tired in private, and Christmas had a cruel way of shining a light on everything she felt she had failed to give her child. The tree was smaller this year, the gifts lighter, and the empty chair at the table louder than ever. So when she hired a fake boyfriend for $50, it was not about romance or pretending to be loved. It was about survival, about getting through one more holiday without letting her little boy see the cracks forming in her heart. Before the story unfolds any further, take a second to breathe with it. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the quiet miracles that show up when life feels its coldest, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Brigthly Kindness. Your support keeps stories like this alive and reminds others that hope still exists. She told herself it was a harmless plan, just someone to stand beside her at the Christmas dinner hosted by her wealthy relatives, people who measured success in smiles and matching outfits. Someone who could smile for photos, carry boxes, maybe make her son laugh for a moment. She had stopped believing in fairy tales a long time ago, ever since the weight of rent notices and school fees had replaced dreams. When the man arrived on her porch that evening, she noticed his clean coat, his careful posture, and the way his eyes took in the small details of her home without judgment. He looked ordinary enough, which somehow made her relax, and she reminded herself this was a transaction, nothing more. From the start, everything felt slightly off in a way she could not explain. He treated her son with a gentleness that seemed practiced, kneeling to listen instead of towering over him. He noticed the crooked ornament on the tree and fixed it without being asked. He laughed at the right moments but never too loudly, and when her relatives subtly tested him with questions meant to expose lies, he answered calmly, as if truth came easily to him even when pretending. She found herself watching him when she thought no one noticed, confused by the warmth he brought into rooms she had learned to endure rather than enjoy. As the days passed, the lines between pretend and real blurred in ways that unsettled her. She had hired him for appearances, but he stayed longer than expected, helping shovel snow, repairing a loose step on the porch, and sitting quietly while she wrapped gifts late at night. He never crossed boundaries, never asked for more than what they had agreed on, yet his presence began to ease something heavy inside her. For the first time in years, she slept without calculating tomorrow's problems before closing her eyes. That scared her more than being alone ever had. Her biggest challenge was not money or judgment. It was trust. Life had taught her that depending on anyone came with a price she could not afford to pay again. She had built walls so high that even kindness felt suspicious. But watching him read bedtime stories or leave extra groceries without mentioning it chipped away at those walls. She told herself it was just the season, just the illusion of Christmas magic, but her heart argued otherwise. The truth came quietly, as truths often do, on a night when the snow fell harder and the world outside felt far away. She noticed a document he had accidentally left behind, something official, something that did not belong to a man offering his time for $50. When she confronted him, not with anger but with exhaustion, the story unraveled. He was not who he claimed to be. He was successful, well-established, and carrying his own past full of regrets and losses. He had answered the ad not for the money, but because he too dreaded Christmas, because he wanted to do one thing that felt purely kind without expectations. The revelation shook her. She felt foolish for believing, angry at being deceived, and ashamed of how deeply she had begun to care. Yet beneath all of that was a fragile sense of gratitude she could not deny. He had stepped into her life when she needed help most and asked for nothing in return. He had reminded her son, and her, what it felt like to be safe in someone's presence. Letting him go felt inevitable, like waking from a dream that had been too beautiful to last. When Christmas morning arrived, it was quieter than she expected. There was no grand gesture, no dramatic confession, just a simple understanding that some people come into our lives to heal us, not to stay forever. She watched her son open his modest gifts with genuine joy, and for the first time she did not feel like she had failed him. She realized that strength was not about doing everything alone, but about recognizing the grace in accepting help, even briefly. Just before the story reaches its final breath, take a moment and tell us in the comments what kindness means to you. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. As the holiday lights dimmed and life returned to its usual rhythm, she carried the season with her in small ways. She smiled more easily. She trusted a little deeper. She stopped seeing herself as someone who had to pretend to deserve love. And somewhere beyond her quiet street, a man carried the memory of a family who reminded him that generosity could change lives in ways money never could. If this story touched your heart, if it made you feel seen or hopeful or simply less alone, please engage with the video, share it with someone who needs it, and stay connected with Brightly Kindness. Sometimes the smallest acts, like a $50 choice made on a